The 94-year-old legend Clint Eastwood has kept his personal relationships private for decades, speaking through his films rather than interviews, but after Gene Hackman was found dead with his wife in their Santa Fe home this February, something in Eastwood broke. Today, we're revealing the untold story of a 5-year friendship between two cinema giants that ended with a heartbreaking final letter that Eastwood never got to send before we continue. There was no finer actor than Gene, intense and instinctive, and never a false note. The 94-year-old friendship stood as a testament to genuineness and respect for one another in the quiet hallways of Hollywood, where connections frequently flash like fleeting spotlights. You won't want to miss a single detail of this incredible Hollywood brotherhood that impacted both men forever. The recent death of his close friend and fellow movie legend Gene Hackman forced Clint Eastwood to break his customary silence about his personal relationships, allowing his work to speak for itself while keeping his private life hidden. This revealed a bond that was deeper than many had ever imagined. Had Eastwood remained silent, the complex fabric of their friendship might have remained hidden forever, a collection of memories and stories known only to those closest to them. In addition to paying tribute to Hackman's memory, Eastwood has given moviegoers and fans a glimpse into a friendship that had a significant impact on both of their careers and permanently altered the Hollywood landscape. The tale of these two titans starts during a period that revolutionized American cinema. With his signature tour speech and furrowed eyes, Eastwood was already solidifying his reputation as the quintessential tough guy. In the meantime, Hackman was establishing a reputation for his versatility and depth, adding nuanced performances to every role he worked on. Their paths initially crossed at a Los Angeles producers' party, a fortuitous meeting that would eventually lead to a partnership that would be hailed as cinematic gold. Those who saw their initial encounter remember an underlying understanding and mutual recognition between two artists who, despite having different personalities, shared identical principles. With Hackman's ferocity on screen and contemplative, introspective temperament off-camera, Eastwood, who has a reserved manner, found an unexpected kindred soul. When they worked together on what many people regarded as one of the best westerns ever produced, this early connection sowed the seeds that would eventually blossom years later. For Eastwood, who directed and starred in the movie, Unforgiven was a study on violence rather than just another western. For Hackman, redemption and the mythologizing of the American West offered a demanding role that would highlight his extraordinary versatility. Although Hackman was initially hesitant to play Little Bill Daggett due to the graphic violence in the script, Eastwood's personal touch was what finally persuaded Hackman to join the project. In a private conversation, Eastwood shared his vision for the film, which he described as an uncompromising examination of the consequences of violence rather than a glorifying of it. This viewpoint struck a chord with Hackman, who ultimately consented to play the part that would win him his second Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. On set, the two men's respectful conversations extended beyond the day's shooting schedule to include their philosophical views on acting, directing, and the changing Hollywood landscape. These conversations often continued after filming concluded, with the two men exchanging handwritten letters, a practice that seems almost archaic in today's digital age but reflects the genuine nature of their relationship. These letters, which Eastwood mentioned in his recent statement, provide perhaps the most heartfelt glimpse into their friendship. They were written on whatever paper was available, sometimes on hotel stationery, and other times torn from notebooks, and they contained honest thoughts, memories, and encouragement from one another. Gene's skill with words extended beyond his stage appearances. Eastwood noted that his letters were sincere, funny, and occasionally reflective. They served as a bridge between us when our professions diverged. After Unforgiven's triumph, both performers carried on with their individual journeys. While Hackman continued to give strong performances in a variety of genres, Eastwood further solidified his reputation as one of America's most respected directors. Their paths would occasionally cross at industry events, each encounter marked by a warmth that went beyond Hollywood's frequently surface-level connections. However, in the early 2000s, Gene Hackman started thinking about retiring from acting. This decision wasn't made lightly or abruptly. Rather, it was the result of a number of personal and professional factors that led Hackman to reevaluate his priorities and the course of his life. A pivotal moment occurred during a routine stress test in New York, where doctors advised Hackman against the physical demands of acting due to concerns about his heart health. This medical consultation forced Hackman to face his mortality and consider the effects of his career choices on his family. At the time, he said, "I want to make sure that my wife and my family are taken care of," displaying a vulnerability that his on-screen personas seldom ever showed. Although it wasn't one of his most well-reviewed films, Hackman's last appearance was in the 2004 comedy Welcome to Mooseport, which co-starred Ray Romano. Hackman announced his retirement with trademark understatement after this project, which marked the end of an extraordinary acting career spanning over 50 years. Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arawakawa, had already moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico, seeking refuge in the city's artistic community and breathtaking landscapes. Hackman immersed himself in creative pursuits that had long piqued his interest but had taken a backseat to his acting career. Writing became a major focus, with Hackman co-authoring several novels, including historical fiction and crime. "I haven't held a press conference to announce my retirement, but yes, I'm not going to act any longer." Despite Hackman's physical distance from Hollywood and his deliberate retreat from public life, his friendship with Eastwood remained strong. Their communication shifted primarily to those handwritten letters and occasional phone exchanges that became all the more precious for their rarity. These personal connections allowed them to reflect on their shared history and express sentiments that perhaps words alone couldn't fully convey in a rare public statement following Hackman's passage. Thriller's painting also offered him a new medium for expression, one that allowed for quiet contemplation rather than the collaborative intensity of filmmaking. No finer actor than Clint Eastwood, whose voice reportedly wavered slightly intense and instinctive, never a false note, expressed his emotions without holding back, calling Hackman his dear friend and highlighting the profound impact Hackman had on both his personal life and the film industry as a whole. "He was also a dear friend whom I will miss very much." Authorities found Hackman and his wife dead in their Santa Fe home after the shocking news of his untimely death in February 2025 sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. According to preliminary investigations, Hackman's pacemaker had stopped working around February 17, which suggests he died peacefully in his sleep. Those close to the couple have described their simultaneous death as fitting, a final chapter written exactly as Hackman might have wanted it to be, with the woman he loved by his side reflecting on their journey together. Eastwood highlighted that Hackman's portrayal of Little Bill Daggett gave layers of complexity to the film that enhanced it, and he said that their collaboration on Unforgiven marked a high point in both of their careers. Beyond a conventional Western, G recognized the darkness in that character, and Eastwood noted that he played him as a man who was sure of his own morality rather than as a villain, which made him all the more interesting and heartbreaking in the end. Others in the field who collaborated closely with Hackman have shared this sentiment. "One of the personal highlights of my career was bringing the French film Garde à Vue under suspicion with the incredibly gifted Gene Hackman." Morgan Freeman, who also starred in Unforgiven, recalled his experiences working with Hackman with obvious admiration. "Of course, Unforgiven rests in peace, my friend." Hackman's legacy goes far beyond his partnership with Eastwood. The French Connection, for which he received his first Academy Award, Bonnie and Clyde, for which he received his first nomination, and The Conversation, a paranoid thriller, which demonstrated his extraordinary range, are among his well-known parts. He received praise and the sincere respect of his contemporaries for his ability to switch between genres with ease, from gritty dramas to superhero movies like Superman, in which he played the evil Lex Luthor. Perhaps Hackman's attitude to acting, in contrast to some of his contemporaries who adopted method practices, was what made his performances so captivating. Hackman created a style that struck a balance between emotional honesty and technical precision. He once said that the best acting is instinctual, not cerebral or mechanical. This idea let him blend into his parts while keeping a groundedness that the public has found sympathetic, even in his most complicated characters. As tributes to Hackman's passing keep coming in, it's becoming more and more obvious that his impact went well beyond the screen. His sincere friendships, especially with people like Eastwood, reveal a man who valued connection and authenticity in a field that is frequently criticized for its shallowness. These relationships endured through years of highs and lows in a career. Eastwood's personal victories and struggles have permanently impacted the social fabric of Hollywood. As one of the last surviving icons of his generation, Hackman's loss implies more than just the death of a friend or co-worker, it marks the end of a chapter in his own life. In order to ensure that the tales of their friendship and professional accomplishments continue to motivate upcoming generations of actors and filmmakers to uphold Hackman's memory, Eastwood now bears the responsibility of conserving these shared memories. Through his infrequent public remarks, Eastwood has decided to put less emphasis on the sorrow of loss and more on the celebration of a life well lived and a friendship that endured. He has invited fans to join in this celebration to honor Hackman not only for his extraordinary talent but also for the sincere, considerate person who created the performances that enthralled audiences all over the world. The 50-year friendship between Clint Eastwood and Gene Hackman was more than just a Hollywood connection, it was a brotherhood forged in mutual respect that changed cinema forever. According to sources close to Eastwood, he was writing a final letter to Hackman when word of his passing broke, a letter he will now keep private forever. The handwritten letters, late-night phone calls, and candid criticisms that improved each other as we've seen today. For more unseen tales from the golden age of cinema, hit the like button and subscribe if this look inside one of Hollywood's closest friendships touched you. Leave a comment below with your favorite Hackman or Eastwood performance, and we'll reply to the most insightful ones. Share this video with someone who understands the value of genuine friendship.